So it's finally been announced, the next Sonic game coming out, the next 2 Sonic games coming out of next year. I wanted to come on camera to express my thoughts on the thing since a few people have asked me to do so. You'll have to forgive the bad lighting. I don't have my usual stuff set up, so I'm just using my main light for the time being and kind of whatever's going on out there. I think it's called Sun. So for those who haven't heard, they've announced 2 new Sonic games at the 25th anniversary party. The first one, which I will mention, is Sonic Mania. So Sonic Mania is something that I feel like I've been wanting for years and years. And if you haven't seen the trailer, I'll put it in the description, but I'll play a bit of the footage over this. It's a return to the 16-bit era, to the classics. Not like Sonic 4, where it was trying to emulate the style of it, but with current generation stuff. I'm talking like proper pixel art, like 16, well, in this case it seems 32-bit, but 16-bit Sonic is running around in a world created, actually inspired by that era. And this is fantastic. I love that. Oh my god, I was so excited when I saw all of the right things. Now, you might not know what I'm talking about, but I have very high hopes for Sonic Mania purely because of who is working on it. We have Christian Whitehead, which, if you didn't know, we have the iOS versions of Sonic 1 and 2 and the remake of Sonic CD to thank for. Just mwah. And something that actually took me by surprise, one of the people that they show off in the trailer is Headcanon. And for those who don't know what Headcanon is, it's actually a studio made by Stealth. This information was available on Sonic Retro, funnily enough. If you didn't know who Stealth is, he's one of the main dudes to Team Megamix. That is some impressive backstory. And knowing that Taxman and Stealth are working together, I'm really excited for this. A lot of people hold Megamix in high regards, and a lot of people really liked the remake of CD. So I can only imagine it's going to be fantastic. I just love what they've done with it. The style feels so polished, so lovely. And if you think about it, this is technically their first attempt at recapturing actual nostalgia from the classic series. Now you might be wondering what I mean by that. Well, if you think about it, all other Sonic games since then have been some form of 3D modeling. Even Sonic 4 episodes 1 and 2 were kind of a 3D model on a 2D plane. This is the first time they've actually gone back to pixel art. Needless to say, I am thrilled. And there's already been 3 tracks that have been spread around the internet because I believe they got them on the USB drive they got at the party. And the track they show off from one of the levels is So Sonic CD. People will, I think, love it. But that wasn't the only thing they announced. They announced another game coming next year. At least I think it's coming next year. I'm pretty sure they said that. I could be wrong. They announced a new 3D title, which we only know as Project 2017, made by the same team that brought you these, Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. Now, definitely a lot less hype from me for this one, purely because I do live in the old days in a way, and I love how people can creatively use pixel art. So I am definitely more on the side of Sonic Mania, just because I know a lot of things are going to work out right. I mean, I'll be very disappointed if they don't, but I'm used to it at this point. But at the same time, they didn't really show off a lot. They showed off a teaser trailer. It was like, in a world where robots have taken over, you as Sonic the Hedgehog must team up with classic Sonic. Though, interesting note, it isn't Generations 2. A lot of people assume it's going to be Generations 2, but specifically the creator said it's not a sequel. So that already throws out the idea of it being a Generations 2. And it makes me wonder, what angle are they going with this? Are they going for, like, time travel? Are they taking inspiration from, like, Bad Future Trunks? Like, does Sonic have to get help from the past to save the future? I don't know. A lot of people were jumping to the conclusion that it's a Generations 2, and it makes sense considering what they've shown off is just the fact that Classic is in it with the modern type. But I have my own leads, I have my own reasons to believe it isn't Generations 2, it's something else, and with that I'm curious and cautious and optimistic. These 2 titles were quite well received, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what that team can do. You must remember that Sonic Boom, although a terrible, terrible, terrible failure, was actually made by Big Red Button and not Sonic Team, so you can kind of push that aside. Overall, I think 2017 is going to be a really interesting year for Sonic, and I feel like it could do a lot of good. The nice thing is they are essentially doing a Generations package. It's just instead of making it so that one game holds the classics and the modern, they just made a separate game for the people that like the classics and a separate game for people that like the modern. I honestly think it was really smart, and people always used to joke like, oh, why don't they just get these fan game creators and hack creators to work for Sega? They do way better job than they do. Oh, funny you mentioned that. Like, I haven't been this excited about new Sonics for a very long time, and this is... I don't know how to react to this. I'm like, I've had a smile since I found out about it. I'm sorry these couldn't be my reaction thoughts because someone did request me do that, but unfortunately I decided to just stay up and watch the whole thing. Like, as it goes, the actual presentation was probably the worst part of the entire thing. The games were really, like, interesting. The whole presentation was an unorganized mess. The audio was, for half of it, like, really bad. But it was enjoyable for all the wrong reasons. My last closing comments about the whole thing is... But guys, I'd love to hear what you think about Mania and Project 2017. Knowing what we know so far definitely feels like it's going to be interesting. Mania seems like it's going to be really good just because of the people behind it are known for what they do. And it just looks so cool, man. It just looks so fucking cool. And then Project 2017, which looks like it's going to take a slightly more grim version, or like a grim look on something, even though the colors are still vibrant and bright. So I'm wondering how it's going to work on that. And the fact that it isn't Generations 2 makes me wonder, what is the game then? Is it going to be time travel based? I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas, your opinions, what you thought. Thanks for listening, guys, and I guess I will see you in another video some other time. Bye!